vex enough. Oh, we know vex.
Yemawa kwaba, Batusan Hotel. We dear, Eweni Beshe, Efie Divi, Yechia Kwai Okumase, Echesu Chakum, Echo Drabbing Quine so. Won't you hear yenti? You whatever a hot way, Dianai. Your normal, standard, deluxe standard, and our executive room, sir. The more Wi-Fi, ni DSTV, Kanja air conditioner, and room beer mo. You were chef Kukudama. You were corner share beer, Ubenya. You were in share beer. The more daho, and you see you are bare for quinso. You were a good year more who to be a cassia. Et me funny pa opinion. You were singing wood true, you the high. For 0244 6544 58 0246 505327 and 0241 418645. The emails here info2sanhotel@gmail.com. Tucson Hotel. FFE.
Control 56 ambulance and 200,000 P8. Signation. I know what we know vex enough. Oh, we know vex enough. We know vex enough. Oh, we know vex enough. There is sometimes so much I wonder why we know vex. They have pushed our every button, now I wonder what is next. Monkey they walk, baboon they chop, them no they stop, so them belly pop, but them still they chop. Them go they chop, oh, all the money, oh. No development with the money, oh. No libby, no laba, I swear, this time we don't go take them yawa. No gangalia, one bagawaya, I swear, this time they go dawa. You say you be food soldier, they follow party matter, they can. Yes, indeed. Welcome to Weekend Editorial on a Monday morning. How about that? All right, let me check this mic really quick, and then all right, let's just go on. All right, so good morning from where I am. My name, as you know, I believe, is Kwesi Isan Bako. And I, as usual, will be sitting in this seat as we try to speak about the topics for today. Thank you very much. Welcome, Radio Culture. Before we start everything, let's give holy thanks and praises to our sponsors, Tucson Hotel. Anytime you are in Kumasi or you are anywhere in that environment, right, and you're looking for a nice, peaceful abode away from all the hustle and the bustle, but equipped with everything that the city has to offer, this is where you have to go. Tucson Hotel. It's at I just saw and so Obia Wuni Magisterial Hodom, you know already. Say just so they will do just one way to Kumasi, right? And plus, they also have very cool, nice, modern air-conditioned cars that you can use as in hire to go around the city doing your business. So make it a point. Tucson Hotel. All right. Okay. Now, what's on way for today? And then I'll try to move it along a little bit because topics in endorsement, but issues now and what topics in money endorsement. I have only 2 topics for today. Let me introduce my topics and then we'll go on and see how much justice we can do to them. Okay. My first topic is I am worried for the youth of Ghana. I'm sitting here right now. I did not see middle age or whatever it is called creeping up on me, right? My beard is gray and everything. But when I saw my first election, I was a very young man, almost a boy, if you will. All right. Now here we are, and we're seeing another generation of people coming up. And the governance in Ghana doesn't seem to be getting better, but getting worse. So that is cause for worry. But even beyond that, what actually bothers me is how the youth themselves respond to how they are treated by these politicians. That is my main worry. But we'll get into the details of that also. Okay, so that is my issue number 1. My issue number 2, about this guy called Oketechi Efrifa, whatever he calls himself. That guy. And I've said this on my platform several times. I really used to admire that guy for so many different reasons, not least of which is the fact that he's very articulate, right? He's very articulate, or kasa, and he speaks like a man, and he has he has a lot of things that go in his favor in terms of wielding influence over people, right? And as a broadcaster, I don't know if he's a journalist, I'll at least give him broadcaster. If you are as a broadcaster, no, if you set out to do what you have to do as a disseminator of information, and then you have certain things going in your this is why they choose telegenic women for TV and all of that. I'm not saying say you are telegenic okay, I'm just saying you had a lot of things going in your favor, some of which is that you speak very boldly, you have a certain physique and a certain outlook that makes people kind of gravitate towards you in terms of when they just see you. But then looking at you closely, no, this guy is the reason why the term gendarme is a thing in Ghana today. Okay, let me not go straight into it. That's my second topic. Okay, so we'll come back to it. And then while we're doing that now, there are also a few social issues as a bro what can be. And I said, my mom can crampon for man, and so said, remember, not at least my summon up quickly. Now wow. So there's this thing with and by the way, what's happening with Lil Wayne? What's happening with Lil Wayne? Charlie, my mom sana mon kwashi case na on ko biba kwao. Me that boy I don't know him. I don't think he knows me either, right? But because of how I mean him say Ejako and people like that acting into the name nearby, and I just kept quiet. Also because I saw the Ghanaians were doing enough justice to it, whereby my voice would not necessarily add a whole lot to it, right? So I kept quiet. But like because I was assembly, but na ye ni apejasa na fe omake okay the train the show the train kakana from faso na fe. We want to know what's happening with the Lil Wayne issue. All right, we do. Also, there's this issue going on with you're from saying Sankofa from saying TEG or something like that. Team Eternity, I think. Team Eternity. Any that news, any song, no. Listen, I'd like to believe that I know a lot about music more than some of these people who posit themselves to be whatever it is do, right? I've listened to the two. Eventually, no, you say Team Eternity for Naba Behu Kwame Miki into no Martinasi or Mwaka Bibi Aboko. But honestly, I listened to the song, and honestly, I hadn't heard the song before that time. Beautiful piece of music, by the way. TG and no, fantastic song. Listening to it for the first time, and I was watching a video of it, so I was seeing like a performance. Oh my gosh, fantastic tune, definitely no, right? But why did they go to see Kwame Miki? Which part of that is mentioned? I don't hear that in the song. I don't. Kwame Miki threatened with international lawyer. I don't know a scare one. I don't know. Or maybe truly, so maybe they were like, okay, all right, so let's come to some kind of settlement. But here what? There's sampling and there's interpolation. Okay, at the very best, it was interpolation. But again, even for interpolation, you have to get permission from the maker of the original. Into the Ebefani say, "Ebiati for no." Really and truly, not I know what my dream when they were singing that song. But me personally, all I'm saying is say, listening to the song, I don't hear mention Bonsmai Kunyam. The Bidiano. Mention Yamiana Kobonsmai me if I don't hear that in the TG song, right? But that said, enough said. Fantastic song. Okay, now let's get back on track. All right. First issue, no, yesterday. Me say I'm very worried for the youth, and why? Why, no? I'll show you in a quick second. Honestly, finish for this country we call Ghana. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. Honestly, finish for this country we call Ghana. Shine your eye, so say you go down your grind. Because we are accountable to you.
Shine your eye, yo. So say you go down your grind, no place school for this life. Oh yeah, say we. Isi kana modern kwala. Wabra sukuni akola te forma wuni akunya. Hwe, afi ya twa te yeni akoma wo be say ye work say we ne mo penafo akoda. Never. Na se kasi mu twini free ana meboa. Esgracia wa yonko aje wa moa. E kwan ni ne ya kan agoma theatre bubu nua goma so mo man no na ne bibisa kebi mami kebi ye adwuma o ma yeti mu kan kura ni eku adwuma bibisa tipeni fuwe wo mo watema na die mu apa no mo wodi je chima
Ade mo pa na mpanyifo yi omo wodi janchima enti mpanyifo yi enti omo wotema. Okay, why am I worried for the youth? Now me ba list a normal B, okay? And I will not reinvent the wheel here. I will not go back and state the obvious here. The obviousness say the MPP government has failed Ghana woefully. Woefully. The BIO politicians, the political class has failed Ghana. Now the MPP government has failed the political class. MPP for government way under Akufo-Addo are failing to the extent say the political class itself feels threatened. Someone saying, yeah, its very existence will be a question hanging in the air. Someone saying, yeah, that very institutional, will be a friend of political class, no. Omo who say I am threatened because the youth are very angry. However, are the youth that angry? Are they? And this is a story that I've heard told more than enough times, right? And to be honest with you, that story actually needs fact checking because I don't even know if it's true. But how many times have you too also heard that story about Stalin or somebody like that who had a fowl and they were in a meeting and he called for a fowl and plucked every single feather off the fowl, and the fowl was like crying in pain. And then he set the fowl down and then put corn in front of the fowl, and the fowl came right back to him to eat the corn. Good Lord. That is a strategy, Bia. Whether this story is true or not, it is a strategy that has been used by many a political organization and as a political group to rule over people, to take over the affairs of a country, right? And to keep the people in subjugation and to keep them in check. Because the money here for all these years. And then all of a sudden, your baby to allowance amount. Charlie Uko school, say 8 years grand by Abina has been in government for 8 years. Right? But Uko school by 4 years, Peno. Unyanya alawa biada. And then all of a sudden here comes Bawumia who is like, here, push alawa. Okay, chicken. Pluck. Now, babak. Right? Oti honum. Who say, yeah, what sabi in produce, so ye kaya ye. One can say the world see who cry in the society. This is why that whole thing about Baumia building hotels for kaya, it is as stupid as anything. But it's been polished in such a way, say, it's being made. Listen, it's a political tool. Mamen can't just say, pengu say, Baumia ebe winning power. That thing will fizzle out it will fizzle out. It will fizzle out within a year. It's not a program that they intend to sustain. But what I'm saying really is say, askaya ye nankasana krano, honoma, a carry tag be, won't that make channel? A carry tag be. So here comes Baumia who says, oh, mukrana moya kaye, here mombra, momentina danya femu. Na mon shata de na yema mo gown, it said that most school to say, or mama kana here, hey. Munje, puff, clock, back to Baumia. And sometimes you cannot blame the ignorant and the vulnerable. Let's leave them alone. Let's expose the nonsense that the other people are doing to the point that the ignorant and the vulnerable will understand. That's our job. If we say we are the fourth estate, unfortunately, again, need the estate from the government kitty. Whatever the first estate is, probably you're kind of saying the executive, no, they get paid from the government kitty. The second estate, I don't know which one that is, whether it's the legislature or the judiciary, they get paid from government kitty. The judiciary gets paid, all of them get paid from it, and then they crown us with this nonsense that called fourth estate, and nobody pays journalists from the government kitty unless you are Kwame Sefakai or some of these other people that allegedly we've heard are on some type of payroll. Allegedly. Anyway, that's not the subject. Subject in they say the youth of today nankasana ye kwama omono. The youth of today are omunti. Some of us have sleepless nights now. The youth of today, because of who we are making sure said this government does not loot the country dry and leave them with a debt. Because youth, someone tells you what is happening. They say, "Abain way, edimudin, ejibosia, no within and I'm summing it up for you. For those of you who may not understand, buried your head in the sand. Because Baumia Mao, money that already belongs to you, no. And okay, I'm funny in Mao, but me buy one for back arrears umbrella or brought it's a 1 or 2 months worth of allowance. In tuning them now can't question and I will turn you Emma Baumia. Moment TV, papa. Marty, well, yeah, Baumia beba. Okay, all right. Nipa na wokwama no o se nipa na we wie ni sika no odi ni dia kwakwa gyebusia sensensen wo himfa na wa run country ni down no ni central bank aboka over $6 billion no ye dian ya obeba. Sadly, not all the youth are this stupid, so we have to stand with the youth that are not this stupid, no. And I'm sorry for calling them stupid. Okay, maybe let me even eat the stupid back. Because for people like this, I don't think it's stupidity. I think it's ignorance. And ignorance is not a crime. Ignorance should be pitied. Ignorance should be pitied. Because sebi prayers, maybe a menewo no. Now let's be serious here. Maybe a menewo, nyakupon ya dom. Nyakupon ena ya dom. Right? And have a opportunity be. And a ya certain schools, certain wherever. You could baby. Am I certain experiences be and untino you who normal from a certain perspective be. And don't trust any panel no suja honum na sebi mako dada na man is cano dio muchino. Sebi with Jimmy because oh no who are the from baby awu jina no. Mimi tinoma be say until I know said these people are swindlers, they are thieves who are trying to creep their way back in government. Last show, no mama analogy be has say it's a heist. The heist has been completed. Gabriel Chedako and Asante Bedieto and Kenneth Furiata and all these people, Kufado, they are ready to flee, but they cannot flee with the cops, which is the people of Ghana, right on the tail. They need something to distract the people of Ghana so that it can give them enough time to flee. That's who Baumia is. I see that, but a lot of people may not see that. And so let's be and oh now wow. Okay, so membody, but I'll just say this though, because sometimes when you mention the name, it looks as if you're trying to and I love you, brother. You're doing a lot for Ghana, right? But sometimes acknowledge that the people that we are saying say they are stupid. No, they're not necessarily stupid. They just don't have the facts. They just don't see it from our angle. They just don't have the privilege. But that is why also people like you have taken it upon themselves to break it down. And I really do commend you for that. Thank you very much. But the people are not stupid. The people need to be alerted about certain things. And no being a person here what I say and Tio nurse wako school abana was to say a policy so be allowance, right? Emre etwemu year 1 etwemu year 2 year 3 year 4 etwemu unyanya allowance bia na all of a sudden obi aba no mako janenim so oh yebema yema ya allowance so first of all nipa na kasa ni gina weni mo kasa no wo hu say oka kire wo say wotua allowance ama o na wo be ka kire say ontua allowance ma o enti there na kasa you should see a red flag youth, right? But fair enough when hu na nipa ne kwa no akwa part of scandal can also trauma over all these years, dear bro. Hey, no, so you the chira will turn him now with him flag. But on share beyond that. But the reality now, yemo, some of us here who na yebe kaimo ama anasebe trebo ama muhu ne say, mamu just uncle for we mundi because omu dimudin akwaje bosia. Asa bosia no. Omu ne omu enko for any mom webusia any AD edi bia ko sie baby bebre edi bia toto no ma bebre eno ma panic kakra bi eno mo de abremo no enti no sa wogi sa aska no na sa oboje ne so wie na so sen ba ben mu na sa otsan de or the on policies ba e kana or the share the next how many years 10 years 12 years na fina some of you am was schools we mu no we see mo prime mu am start year juma and stuff like that oh na utia taxes are ye from Ghana no ye de kwa kutia iskabia ya kwa je free China and I say World Bank and I say baby sa intimi provided a normal be emma wo enjoy our country na wutidi mu no youth one shall moto us na China for be catch say Ghana your modia o share ayemu say edin anything because when that happens they will not come and tell you say president no answering fees to now president of China and so you will not see it. What you see happening is say all your state assets now belong to another country. What did they make sure I say? It's when we find the same youth now you know more a person like can't have some way more and then you find them say or more no rather no are like so oh you he crass oh yeah about me abeba are you serious? No about me baby because unim when na sebi previous and ebia when your privilege anti say na uja na wo boaje about me so no there are other youths are almost so privilege almost so take their course na see o and then almost ma wo fa wo de no and no be and no mistake na some of us say yeah no those days are you land a platform name people like a Jack Codems come kwasa asemani aye din yes okay bia o we there o there otenye hwe de mani kana asem anya okokasa wan hwe make say wan don't start na kwa no the legon na etwa wo mpoa wo legon na wakono eno no di twa wo mpoa first that's no more reverse intimidation what you say some of these people or the legon na wo call ye na nyame ye wadoma wo nya kokosua de no or they no di kan etwa wo mpoa Tijabe katwa subiana so. And we made a mistake of kowtowing to that type of nonsense. So it gave these people a voice to espouse nonsense. But here we are. Yet here you and the youth of this nation, no. Thankfully, because we have social media these days, we see some of them. We see a lot of them. Thankfully, a large population of them, a large amount of them are not like the ones you saw singing after Baumia. Which is why Jean Mensah and his people, on her people, I should say, have found it necessary to disenfranchise the youth. Because when we say Charlie youth no more, but when break, a huge number of them are very, very, very conscious and alert, and they know what's going on. Social media, what to say. First, Nana, Oti Hodoma, Unyakwa Bruchi, no Akujina, Yakan Central Trafalgar Square, no, we trap photo. What I said, now a doves no one then they know they are abroad, not photo back one apartment or TBB Coca-Cola 2-liter bottle. I own them chalapo chili hair cook 2-liter bottle. What if you just have photos near their bro or Ghana and look at the envelope when you mail it, edibe 3 weeks and sana on Saka. No, I say, hey, Charlie, share, Kwapia. I'm not telling hey, Johnny Brony. Those days, a trouble. Say, oh, funny phone now flip whatever is going on in New York today, real time. So people know good living. Ghana for you to know about it. They know good living. They know what is nice. You can't fool them. And thankfully, when the Muhammad government was in place, they saw some of these things taking off. And you can't fool them. So what's the Pualugu Dam? And that's your biggest achievement. And we can't find Pualugu Dam. Somebody will go there with just a phone in their hands and expose your nonsense. That's the fact of the matter. All right. So you break, I should just say. Okay. Now, okay. Now I should also mention this. Apart from Kaya Yefono, when I made a build, there be event be a see not event incident be a see recently. That's what Eddie cancer. Okay. But apart from nurses, no, so your nurses issue, your Kaya issue. Kaya Yefono no moto yeah about me abeba no, right? And recently, there was an issue at the Christian Service University College. Give me just one moment to load up the audio soundbite, the soundbite, and then let's talk about this, okay? 1 minute. We know vex enough, oh, we know vex enough. They insult us so much, I wonder why we know vex. They have pushed our every button, oh, I wonder what is next. Monkey they walk, baboon they chop, baboon they chop. Them no they stop, them never they stop. These people. Let's hear this audio. We'll be right back.
Organizer, now, Enra, as part of our 50th anniversary now, yes, celebrating. As in Yakonya, the former president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said, my speech. Now, in the course of the speech, sometimes my speech we need in a boy in some manner. But course of one speech now no cancer be said. The Ghana Bruno, Ghana any concert party na yadane the ashe a comedian and sir. In fact, we make his comment na NDC for no one maniaji no more myself. So I also said no. Mama, with your boy now bury. Until you make us there was a guy na also team he perceived to be an NDC sympathizer. Now only me about who I friend and Kevin was say on also a communication director for Tescon TSUC. Until beside Kevin said their confrontation a guy now NNA. And then suddenly was a guy not sorry. I could fret Metro Mabia Ira Mahama Eba on Nana a buy. Until Mohana Metro Mano a barber be a meti. Until once ordinance church and some warning. Until sometimes not a former president Kasa. Until I'm a person be a Mekasa, maybe a whole acquainted. Until me use women sat and I'm a year sign say, dear son. Until besides said the Atanana first lap a buy. Editorial, our brana, the former president Kasa. Until Emma Namenti Yama Echo, until quickly Nam let tobacco. A catchem seven sorry free baby. Now I met in a different place. Until one I'm sorry and I'm a different place. Until Moana, former team president, Ebe catchem said, electrobacco, big ages, a friend Akachen said, I'm a baby and family and check. Now the way Uncle for a chanty I want one way. The Mama Casavia, I'm a boy who have a year near my answer because almost on the me. Until Mr. Matthias asked and a young machine I'm saying. So Miss Originachi, thank I'm a copy baby and I made him watch it. And to me, dinner tonight, you pay for the auditorium on another slap as I buy. Until Obama soon as a man so I am to me answer Obiasa Chim inside me, crying Pega. Obiachi Chim and Samuel in our committee say. And then your one will bomb a year, will be bomb and this only. You see, I'm more here. Give me how much there were. A bit on one boss, my year, any operation. The woman don't bomb a Yamasano. We feel a very pain by a woman abdomen, or no up a justice. I'm in a motel. As I say, I'm going to see scan. I'm a transfer report to the bed. Now, in the course of a dinner, Sabio basically such a bottom. And also almost have to bottom. Is scanning now. Almost where 3,200. That's scanning now. And may iPod. No, so I share my swimming now. So, my now. As I know, as some can person can say, yeah, yaba. say you have some NPP aban.
Nti
Politics na ye. So what can be na itia His Excellency the Vice President. I was Franka Tuni Edema NPP abana. They will be the yentina wo. Because Sisiano, ye the cra about for the.
Then a crab off for there.
Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, any NPP. Say a billion to Mate, Eddie Amano, na also at Yababiti, Company, our Ghana.
Or see next time, Munkuno. So then a crab off for there. Next time, or then a crab off for there. And anyways, Charlie, sa asem way wohum. Me pesi a play audio way biom. Na ye dissecting no bit by bit. Na ye share. So intro any sa say when they say the strategy and we win election, no, they left everybody wondering what the strategy is. But for a lot of us, no, we in strategy, no, and this is some of it. Diabolism strategy is a unima men worry and who hears so and yet be papa bia. But just target diabolism and you're good. As long as it's diabolic in nature, no, that's fine. Akwana kasa na oti hona na kasa no. To be honest with you, many doctor, many medical professional, right? But and I'm a stage director. I'm a trained stage director. I'm also a movie director. I've done stuff which are related to makeup. But because I'm not disputing say you're born and I say I'm born na mini ho. But however, me so be corroborating the story no. So be corroborating the story no. The only people who attempted to corroborate the story, which of course would make sense, you know, any MPP no, so your organizer of no, and then they also fluffed it by saying say NDC for their board no, whereas the guy was saying say Mahama a bodyguard and a board no. Anyway, later on, Osanso can say, yeah, maybe that's what that is. I'll give them that, right? But what I'm saying is that I've not heard any independent corroboration of the story. No. Let's also take into account, say, the NDC, the students union on the NDC students union on the campus, no, have come out to deny, say anything of that nature happened at all. So does this confirm my suspicion? Say the bandage is not or shisha no, it was just a makeup. Does it? But however, that said, you share the whole story not in its entirety, right? Because this is some of the nonsense. Omen who say John Mahama, you cannot beat anything he's done in terms of governance. So now they're trying to attack his personality and anything. And okay, the chief FIFA issue is so bad. The same model will be out there playing, right? Because they're trying to attack John Mahama with something that holds no substance whatsoever. But they want it to be what the Ghanaian people. But Charlie, Mame Kanchemo, listen, if John Mahama, right, has horns on his head, we prefer him to Baumia. Let me just state it that way. Ubia will name any image, you know what I'm saying. If he has horns on his head, we prefer him to Baumia. If Baumia had wings on his blood-clad back. Anybody who understands imagery, digest that. Now let me say this again as we go on. This guy's story, no, it is so fake and false. And when the mainstream media fails to examine these stories properly and they just choose to go ahead and broadcast it for it to have the effect that it's intended for it now, it's some of us, our job to come back and debunk it and make discerning people understand that this guy is as fake as silicone breasts. Excuse my analogy. But let's listen to this guy. Yeah, bought audio nibium. And as we go, no, please mark the falsehoods that we will encounter in this guy's reportage and as his narration. Let's go.
Organizer, now, Emra, as part of our 50th anniversary now, yes, celebrating as in Yakonia the former president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said, I'm a speech. Now, in the course of the speech, sometimes the most speech we need in a boy in some manner. But course of one speech now no cancer say the Ghana Akuno Ghana any concert party na yadane the ashe a comedian and sir. In fact, Omeki is comment na NDC for no one maniachi no more myself. So I also said no. Mama with your boy now bury.
Yen possible hold on for a second. So far, Bibia what can be no. For me, it's of no substance, all right? Except say from the beginning, I think we lost a bit of the audio then. Also, your MPP organizer. So let's have that clearly on our minds. And now, but some of the back and forth that's going on social media, and people are like, oh yeah, nah. So Mahama Kohonum Soko campaigning to know they have the right to approach him. No. Mahama did not go there to campaign. Mahama was invited by the school to go give a speech. And first of all, no, Wamba was over campaigning there. Yeah, fair enough. And they saw cast and that's what bit makers and so boy. Na Obia, you're inviting us as a guest of honor, and now Bahonum no all money speech. All right, so let's have that. Even that, no, to me, personally, to me as an activist, no, there are no holds barred. Though. If there's a fair reason for you, a Honan Kasakra, no person, oh, we sure, bet me, hey, Mahama, Oboa, fair enough. So, Fuso Oboa. But what's an Kasa don't want for deal into who can consequences of what could potentially happen. But also don't want for the other crack. One Kasa don't also do crack for the into unfina, a boy, and now could trust cities can say, I'm Padia. And no crowd not say so because you kumpanka ye because of the crowd for there and I say won't teach. Anyhow, Timothy be our kakudu or say why not sorry not say then Mahama Obwa. So basically he was heckling the president, the ex-president, while he was speaking. Brother, I'm telling you, as an activist, I have no problem with that. If you have a good reason, and the reason, no, hey, everybody's seeing it from a different perspective. And their whole perspective now, no. Mahama, Baumia, and your clown. Fine. But does that even merit you? Say, because we are not discussing substance here. Mahama is just making a blank statement. Say, okay, you cannot hand the governance to a clown. And I say comedian, sorry, not a clown, a comedian, right? Now, if you say, no, yeah, enough for you to distract the former president. No, fair enough. We grant you that as an activist. In fact, so you're activist. And normally, as an activist in Pono, you know why I will not grant you that? Because we normally would have sympathies with people who are kicking against a government in power, not standing with a government in power to kick against an opposing force which is trying to redirect the government in power. Into how no crown activist points to crown what's saying Lucy no bro, whatever his name is, or would be sir. Okay. Small sympathy no crown me war for you. Say Bianca, oh, you're activist. Because okay, it's okay for you to go out there and harass or all of that, people in power, no. Mahama is not the president. Mahama is the opposition. It is a case against the government in power. That's a you are no more an activist. You are a goon of the governing you can say party. That's who you are. And I think that you claim that title unashamedly. But let's move on with that. Yantuaso.
There was a guy now on also Timothy who perceived to be an NDC sympathizer.
Perceived to be an NDC perceived by who? Muti akwa story though. Or sina kwebit in the name, the person is perceived to be an NDC sympathizer. Perceived by who? By one kasa. And that's perceived by say be a school no him say or NDC sympathizer because you can say he's perceived to be an NDC sympathizer. That's my translation of it. That's my interpretation of it. So Obianim say wait your NDC sympathizer. But also he's perceived to be one chemuye perceived by who? Yantuaso.
Now I have friend and say and also communication director for Tescom TSUC. And beside Kevin said, their confrontation and guy and then
suddenly was a guy not sorry. I go for Metro Mabia, Mahama Eba, Nana Ebai.
Very instructive, this point. I had a naming in our one, people, please. Please. And before we go into this era, let me tell you, let me announce that we are on ghnewsnow.com. Please, if you are looking for any of there are so many different platforms that we are on right now. If one is not working, please go to the other. We're on www.ghnewsnow.com. That's our home base. You go there, you have iCulture TV, you have Radio Culture, and then of course you have our print material there as well. www.ghnewsnow.com. We are also on modernghana.com. If you go on Modern Ghana, now we'll search it, Radio Culture, right? Remember, culture is spelled Kulcha. How did my camera read? What's happening? I need to see my okay, yes. Culture is spelled Kulcha. And I'm actually speaking to you from Studio 1 in Texas, USA. Our Studio 2 is in Mampontein, Kumasi, where we also have local content coming in from that angle. And we do thank you very much, everybody else who has downloaded the app, because we also have an app. If you go on the Google Play Store, please download the app, and then you can access all our programs through the app. I personally prefer you to download the app, to be honest with you. If I have to recommend any of the platforms, I would say number 1, the app, number 2, the website, number 3, Modern Ghana, and then the rest follows. Matuna Radio and all of the others follow, right? But thank you very much for coming in. And also, we, of course, back up everything we do on social media. So do not be surprised to see us on Facebook, YouTube, and any of these other social media platforms. We also have a huge WhatsApp group that would like you to be part of, because that's where we bang ideas against each other, right? All in the interest of Mother Ghana. All right, now let's go into this guy's issue, Nibium. Now, I mean, redirect me. There are some these kind of cameras. All right, let me cut that down a bit. Yes, but I need to see my Radio Culture sign. Yes, thank you very much. All right, so let's look at what the guy was saying. Or say, Omobasano, and then there was this guy who was Macho Man Biana One Yera Mahama Mone Baye. When we say Oba out na Onin Kofobekasano, or say Mahama bodyguard was categorical about it, because Opese or Tagi Adeni to Mahama. Emma enya some negative effect be on Mahama. And to say again, Mahama bodyguard and a bono. I feel the all kinds of man or say Pape Bia. Macho Man Bia, Mahama Eba no kaho. Now listen, people, Mahama Eba, he comes with an entourage. He comes with so many people, some of who are part of his personal entourage, some of who are part of the welcoming party. Right? Ansa Nobera, I was there in Chicago when John Mahama came there. I know those who organized that event. When I got to the event, they were there. And then when Mahama came, he had his own people with him. Some of those who organized the party went outside, met him, and ushered him into the place. So for Mahama won't just rock up at the place and walk straight into the place by himself. There'll be a welcoming party with him. And Ora, Sa Krofoya wo kai say or Papa Bia or Kamahama, unim say or a part of the personal entourage, and now say or a part of the welcoming party, and now maybe or a fan. And Ojina Honum and a time Mahama room no what can when Munina eba. If you're watching a cell phone, grandpa or some shots be stuff like that. First, also in the bodyguard. After those Macho Man be all bad or not, and that's just because or yet cut Nintino or a macho man. What would I make you know? Like this is so porous. Mommy and Twasso.
Sometimes now the former president kasa. Nti na mesmen pese bia mekasa na bia ho akwede dede. Nti isu mensa na me ye sign say di asem. Nti bisa say di asem na slap the buy. I want Editorial mo. Our brand na the former president kasa.
Me sure pass and kasa slap ne buyer and the whole entire Editorial be who slap no. And by now Kenya corroboration of this thing. apart from what the NPP on the campus put out. Me sure person could be batching his cell phone in this age. Mama pay baby for a glass of water, crancy and maspelimo. In this day and age of cell phones and AI, Yeshuasum Editorial, nobody pulled out his phone to say, hey, look. And then me pay woo. Who's obi kre wumpa na ya phone na ya record it. And then Yeshuasum with all that commotion, no, nobody filmed that. Even the commotion that would have, what the emphasis in the Yeshuasum, right? Into the bien. But you better not pound assume there would definitely be some commotion following a slap. Nobody filmed that on their phone. Nobody has corroborated that. Yantwaso.
Quickly, I'm let trouble. I catch him, I'm sorry, I'm free baby. Now I'm at a different place. Until one, I'm sorry, and I'm a different place. Until one, former team president, I catch him, said, let trouble, big ages, a friend, I catch him, said, I'm a baby, from the engine.
Please listen.
We are for a chant to one way. The Mama Casavia, I'm going to go have a year. Because almost
Motiye, or say 10 president, no, who is an NDC person, 10 president, no, you're the president of the NDC union on campus. Ebeka Chireni say, or no ni NDC for no, esi omo penekuno. Do you believe this nonsense? Or say, 10, and by the way, NDC for no account, no, corroborates that part of the story where the guy went for him to go put him in a place because people were angry at his behavior, at his disrespectful behavior towards the president, the ex-president. I keep calling him the president because he's much more of a president than the one we have right now. But yes, the ex-president, right? Tomo Babe find somebody baby because the people were upset. But NDC pro chairman, the president, Ebeka just said in call for and say, Omubekun. Did he say that to you? Yentwaso.
So, Miss Originachi, thank I'm a copy baby, and I didn't want it. And to me, dinner, you pay for the total one and another slap as I buy. And Obama soon as a man, so I am too. To me, I said, Obasa trim inside me, crying. Obiachi trim Samuel in our committee say, and then your plan who bomb me, who bomb this one.
Charlie, all this happened and nobody has a single 1 minute video of this. Obia ya born assume first, auditorium honum, yes, I bet you bonting, a teaching is a good, I should shut in face. Now, my main country, Nana, oh, corner, or MPP for the 1 corner, I'll call ye. People are jokers, bro. Oh, corner, oh, corner, I'll call ye. And yes, I did when you see ya, none of your people could, number one, intervene, number two, get any evidence that it happened. Liar. Yentwaso.
The woman now born me Yamasano. We feel a very pain by our abdomen. I want to up the justice here and what yet. As it's a CCTV scan. I may transfer reports to the bed at the back. Now, in the course of a year, Sebi basically such a bottom and also almost out to bottom.
Oh, wow.
He's scanning now. Almost 3,200. That's scanning now. And
Sure. This is why this guy is doing this. This is why. 3 things. Number one, Opesoya relevant. Momami Kasim bin Tremo. And this thing, MPP, it's everywhere. When people are in the university now, they know, say, from then they are going to transition into the job market, right? Into more you imagine somebody politicians, no. This is where they start seeking relevance. This is where they start showing their face. True, whatever means. Minka say the same thing, but let me tell you a small story that happened when I was in Legon back in the day. Haruna Idrisu, the same Haruna Idrisu that we all know in Parliament, was the student leader at the time, right? Rawlings was coming to Rawlings, and his opposition party. Rawlings was coming to Legon, and now Amaphobic here say, what's his name? Kwesi Agyeman. Oh, this is my brother. What's his name? Global Media. What's his name? That guy. Omukoko organizing Kofa with placards and stuff. We're going to go demonstrate against Rawlings, whatnot. And Rawlings, bodyguards, maybe, advanced team, I should say. They weren't bodyguards. They were like an advanced team because Rawlings wasn't even there. Advanced team came to try to, quash that before Rawlings drives in. And Haruna Idrisu, was the student leader, and he showed up. The way they slap Haruna, anybody who knows Haruna, if you beat him, ask him this matter if I lie. On Legon campus, the way you see Shin Asumno. But shortly after that, Haruna was in NDC. Right? As one of young, straight from Legon, now NDC straight. I'm just saying, it's an example. I mean, Kese is something like this. But this guy seems to be trying to get the attention of the who calls the shots in the NPP at this time. He's trying to get Bawumia's attention. This is what he's trying to do. And I think he's a very dishonest person because he's also trying to talk about Nanisika Kreshen bottom 3,000. Kwasia, who university student, all the 3,000 cities, Esho bottom, they call a honum, Esha, they call a honum. I call one channel, I'm for lie detector test. And she shan't say, one channel, I'm for he's clearly lying. You're rounding up. So I promise that will be brief. You're rounding up. Won't suffer all kind of message. This is why he did what he did.
Politics now, so what can be now? It's he's the vice president. I was Frank Atuni Edema NPP Abana. There will be the Yent now. Because Sisiano, the cra about for the Eddie Aman, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, and the NPP. Say a billion to Mati Eddie Amano. Now, also at Yabati, Company, our Ghana.
Okay. And Timothy, the messaging, it's not about Ghana. It's not about the future of the youth. It's not say or the Baumia record at to Muhammad dear who anyone who say Abia Muhammad then ya better say Muhammad AC Terminal 3 say Muhammad CKJ say Muhammad IC Circle Dubai say Muhammad ye roads say Muhammad AC port extension say Muhammad aye e-blocks say Muhammad time no not the dollar was $4. Oh, the infant said $4 none of that matters to him. Party no say you be your party need my dear cry. This is why I'm worried for the youth, because again, unlike the first category now, you show mono 77 producer, the Kaya Ye and all those things, all those people who may not have the full picture. No, this is a university student, and if you don't have the full picture, who does? Full picture, nobody really has the full picture, but you have a substantial enough picture to understand what the heck is going on. And just as your kind of saying, your friend is saying, youth who has the benefit of university education, if you don't get it out, who will get it? But to you, it's party first, even though the party has run down Ghana to the point that it do know. And so no Mohammed Kasa, I was so you're bold enough. You can't even sense the mood in the country. Some of you, it shocks me that you don't see that you are clearly on the wrong side of history. Me as a person, one thing that I always pray to God for, say, Lord, in my career as a journalist, anything that happens, any issue that I open my mouth to speak on, please let me be on the right side of the issue. Not of any person. And that's why my slogan is, I come in peace. I come not to please. Whatever happens, no, let what I say, no, be something that I will not run away from, or I will not be ashamed of in future. And I said, "Memba," and I said, "Nananom ebe who say sasem when I can yeah." And I said, "This is why I stood on an issue." I will be like, Enna. No. And for those who do not see that they are on the wrong side of history, no, it pains me for them. But they know already, but it doesn't matter to them because they already have a parochial interest. He wants to be relevant in his party. He wants the big men in the party to see him. Or perse Baumia Besrano, na Baumia Kachansi Abobo Ninfin, and Chonjis can often conquer 20 hospital bills. Na Banis na ye, Nani Diaba Bay household will not trend it. This is a crowd trend it. Or trending quite trending, say, Jimmy. And again, I do not like insulting young people because I think that they should be given the opportunity to make mistakes and correct them. Like some of us did when we were younger. We made many mistakes, many mistakes. But thank God. Yeah, and you know, when it was pointed out to us, no, we did correct our mistakes. But for some of who a young person, not person who young person no, who mislead the other young people and even older people are because Ghana no young people sabaya that's what timubio. Aha, young baby, that's what timubio. So all the taxes and all the nonsense. I was in Ghana recently, they're trying to charge me COVID tax and all that nonsense that I don't think I should be paying, but I'm bound to pay because it's government policy. You know, Timubi, into who younger person, who person big influence narrative, no, to make things worse for me. I have every right to come back at you. No question about that. Mommy, clear. This guy is clearly lying. Baumia, please. If you have some money, go and give it to the families of people who have really suffered for you. Are you thinking of Kwabena Boedu's family? Kwabena Boedu's family, how are they faring? Are they being taken good care of? And I was Akwana Ujan also do crab a bought for the no. My main Kyle of a DB. Your friend no. Mr. Miraime. My main Kyle of a DB. Your friend no. Kwabena Boedu need and rhyme, but it's all good. And really, I'm not here to laugh at the memory of somebody. I met Kwabena Boedu personally. I met him. Those of you who have seen my interview on Sahara, the Sahara platform, Sahara TV platform, and also on YouTube and stuff like that. Those of you who have seen my interview with Dr. Baumiano. When he came to New York on my show, he came with Kwabena Boedu and some other guys. I met Kwabena Boedu. I have Kwabena Boedu's number on my phone right now. And he's somebody that I met. Okay, and may God rest his soul. But what's our way? I would now say, "Odo cra." Ebe for them out Dr. Baumiano, and I make her just say, "Kai." Said there's a young man, or there was a young man called Kwabena Boedu, and do your research. That's all I have to say. Okay, all right. My second issue will be about Ifrifa. Oh no, soundbite biamba because I don't think that the all kind of it's worth replaying. But give me 1 quick minute. Let me take a sip of water and I'll come back to deal with that issue about the village clown. Okay, to Chief Rifa.
Why we know vex. They have pushed our every button. Now I wonder what is next. Monkey they walk, baboon they chop, baboon they chop. Them no they stop, them no they stop. So them belly pop, but them still they chop. Them go they chop all the money. Ooh. No development with the money. No libby, no laba laba. I swear this time we no go take them yawa. No gangalea, one bag of wire. I swear this time they go sell our dawa. You say you be food soldier, they follow party matter. They carry oga dirty water. Present in every danger. At the end of this year, waiting you get my dear. As it be.
Charlie, next time make sure this thing is set. Please. Whoever comes in, you don't touch the webcam, okay? It's just I don't know, maybe you use it for your thing, but yeah, it's the same framing. The framing doesn't change. So please don't mess with the settings because now I'm mid-show and I'm messing with my webcam and all that. All right. But let's look at this guy called Okitechi Kwame Ifrifa or something like that he calls himself, or they call him. Yes, your Sansu, your Hinekra when the Chrome count. My year about two different stories on this guy already, so I'm not going to go too much into anything except to deal with the issue on the table today, which is that the same Oketechi or see a friend or not. And nipa bisa no two things. Either say he's extremely stupid or he thinks say you are stupid. In case with Jimmy Omi says one out of two things. Maybe he's not stupid. Maybe he thinks that we are stupid. But check this out. Some time ago, okay, the chief Fabe catcher say ex-president Mahama will feel Dubai and on Makoto ship and on any year in Mahama and when again and all kind of things. Now, many years down the line, no, Kuku now community no, and the Kosoni Dayo said, this guy himself came out to tell us about what he did. Said na almost sorry, almost kotna baby a friend mimos. What they so we be able to say video they do baby okasa mimos honum na hwe na no they can mimos. Your friend baby mimos. No mo kwa no makotna honum ni hopes na doye mo. Omo here bibi your friend no jandam ewia. No makotna honum mo sre. Right? Meaning say onim very well say ex-president Mahama ni fie bia wo Dubai on top mansion bia wo Dubai. Onim very well say on top ship bia. But onim say Ghana for no, a large majority of them are vulnerable enough. Say unya can be beside from pepe, they will swallow it. Especially those who are latched onto the account media. Charlie, say some near back yeah, apologize you because you crow ya you crow too. That's what John can say. Oh, now the chrono, yes, if for chrono brand now the left leg now by the chrono or right leg. As a one kasa, because we have to state it as it is. The account media is a disincentive to the average Ghanaian. I'm not even joking. And by this time, no, and even just the account media. Account media now about the standard for the media in general in Ghana. So if you go to parts of Ghana, they follow the same format. And even the non-account media, even the English-speaking media, do they get it? Because okay, the chief refer Betina radio so peddle such falsehoods. Oh, and sometimes no, meaning say maybe the strategy from the ex-president's angle will be say, don't give it credence, all right? Maybe they're trying to distract you, so don't follow it because they will. But sometimes you have to find Obia, dedicate to Obi. John Mahama, don't respond to it yourself. Find somebody who is dedicated. In fact, create an office within your office. And yet a buying office na make the John Mahama office, no, the campaign team, no. Create an office that is responsible for responding to bullshit. Please. Create a special portfolio within your campaign team, no. Which is not even the main communications team, and call for no. But this is a special office which is dedicated to responding to bullshit. Because that is these people's strategy, John Mahama. This is only starting, Now, what is a free fast saying? Same guy now, Obeka Chair said John Mahama, I will fear any then a chair no Casabaka and say Omoboa, and no more carry no more cotton mus, no more streno. Wasaba Bio Ebeka Chair say what he said, John Mahama, Sabin Prediasa, or Yare. Na Sebio, a woman say, as president, they're a national asset, your health status is important and the country should know and all of that. But in the campaign season, no, brother, uni entity bia. Okay, teach free fa. Uni entity bia. Said this time, say bia sabin prejudice say am pampo say enka John Mahama yarea. This is the time you'll be talking about that versus Bawumiana ujina hono mano. So you can't yarea sema. So you're a issue. Now let me clear that. So almost John Mahama one on continuing campaign. That is foolishness. Let me tell you why. Number one. What did John Mahama compare John Mahama of 8 years ago? When you yourself, in your submission, no, you said, say, oh, cry, no, into which it is some back pain, be near there. It is 8 years ago, now John Mahama and a double pace, now say what was slow down, kakra. So what? So what? But that said, no, Mama can't show what I saw when I saw John Mahama in Chicago. He did not sleep. At a point during the one day, or because almost 2 events in a day, almost you kind of saying the main event, whatever they called it, in the day, right? And then in the night, they did the dinner and the fundraiser, and he was at both. In between, he had to go see certain people. Listen, I was trying to get an interview with him. I couldn't even get the interview because he had so many different things to do in between the 2 events, and he was on it. All out in the night, and Sana or Moko. And to me personally, I saw him first and I did not see any trace of a man who is weary by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think you are as old as Mahama, but if you can keep pace with him, I'm so better than me. But who knew Jandam? I would be man that look like say John Mahama, he's sick. Bro. They wear you out, I swear. They wear you out because sometimes once cancer now we need their own cabinet. This is why these days journalism is about insults, no? Because that seems to be the only thing that they respond to. That seems to be, yes, I was just checking to make sure that my mic was live. But yes, that seems to be the only thing people respond to these days. Obi to say Fia Schwarzenegger. Obi say Fia Schwarzenegger. Okasa. Na otnasia. Opa yem copy software bia a cutting out insults. Right? Na yem fan edit asem obeka. Na bunti asem obeka. She always has a lot of substance in what she's saying. But times we showing who so kind of straight and I'm on phone responding. I'm on phone into a backing with all child, but sometimes I am not doors in the door. A money tea credit. But anyways, point I'm making say Ghana for now. I say when fight the attempt now come why it doesn't make the impact. But people like Oketeche Frifa are here trying to tell us, trying to lead us down another rabbit hole. Oketeche Frifa, who can who be? And I'll share bulletproof vest. Say what they call demonstration against this same government that Baumia is part of. All of a sudden, no, said then a course so saying I will fire you. What's about Bijan a campaign against John Mahama? Are you all right? Because because they have something to benefit my youth. And I keep telling you this thing. Moon in command across between Oketeche Frifa and whoever commissioned him to come and start that nonsense. What I say? They've tried everything. They've tried to Obeba for 4 years. I'm for saying I pay 4 years, Nisa. Because the 4 years I compare 8 years. Into John Mahama's 4 years, at the very least, will be like the 8 years that we've just endured. At the very, very, very least. Into that thing that didn't work. Now they're coming in with some nonsense about his health. If it's about health, mupa. All I'm saying is this. Oketeche Frifa cannot be trusted. And John Mahama is fit as a fiddle. Even if it's not, we prefer an unfit John Mahama to a fit Baumia. How about that? How about that? Your man can say must be 4 years pay. And so be 4 years pay there. That's on your fitter. Munja no find on fitness no. And be the 4 years no long na fe de beto so na beto so na. This has been Weekend Editorial, which today was brought to you on a Monday. I do thank you for doing the listening. My name is Kwesi Son Bakon. I come in peace. I come not to please. I'm out of the studio. Studio time reading 11:45. I'm out like a light. Thank you for doing the listening. Till such times. Next week, God willing, when we meet again with another topic, or one or two, or maybe three, or who knows how many topics, we will be back. And let me also mention this. We are working on getting representatives from the Afafranto party to come and speak with us. When that materializes, of course, you will see it. My name, again, Kwesi, is Son Bakon. And again, I come in peace. I come not to please. One love. Goodbye.
Shine your eye, yo. So say you go down your grind, creativity, no place, cool for this life. Oh yeah, say we.